All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, we are jumping headfirst into an absolutely epic desert adventure. We're traveling way back in time to the ancient sands, and our explainer starts with a very ordinary, pretty quiet guy named Moses. Now picture this. Moses is just out there going about his daily routine, tending the sheep of his father-in-law. He's leading this flock to the far, dusty side of a harsh desert, miles and miles away from the massive pyramids of Egypt, right up to Mount Horev. It's just another blistering, sweltering day until, suddenly, it turns into one of the most famous encounters in all of human history.
Okay, just imagine you're walking through that sweltering heat. Your eyes are kind of playing tricks on you, right? But then you spot a bush totally blazing with fire. I mean, it's crackling, it's incredibly bright, it's intense. But as you walk a little closer, you realize something completely impossible is happening. The leaves, they aren't turning to ash. The branches aren't breaking down into charcoal at all. The angel of the Lord has actually appeared to him right in the middle of this blazing anomaly. Moses even says to himself, I'm going to go over and see this amazing sight and find out why the bush isn't being burned up. And honestly, who wouldn't be curious? It's a fire powered by something completely out of this world.
So as Moses steps closer to investigate this total marvel, a booming, undeniable voice calls out from the very center of the flames, "Moses, Moses!" He quickly answers, "Here I am," and then the voice gives this stunning command. "Don't come any closer. Take your sandals off your feet, because the place where you are standing is holy ground." Imagine the sheer shock of that moment. Moses immediately hides his face. He is completely terrified to even look because the voice reveals itself as the God of his ancestors, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The very earth beneath his bare feet has literally been transformed into a sacred space by this divine presence. Now, you might be wondering, why is God appearing in this incredible way right now? Well, God reveals that he hasn't just been ignoring the world. Far from it. He has seen exactly how terribly his people, the descendants of Israel, are being treated. They're trapped as slaves in Egypt, forced to build these giant monuments under the harsh whips of cruel taskmasters. God says, I know their pain. He hears their agonizing cries for release. And he isn't just watching from afar, you know. He is stepping directly into human history to stage a massive, unstoppable rescue mission. He's going to bring them out of Egypt and right into a spacious land flowing with milk and honey.
So before we go any further, here is the absolutely beautiful moral of Exodus chapter 3. God hears the cries of the oppressed, and he equips unlikely, totally reluctant individuals with divine power. Think about it. He doesn't go looking for the strongest, most heavily armed warrior. Instead, he looks at the hurting, listens to the broken, and chooses someone completely ordinary to be the instrument of his incredible deliverance.
But here's the thing. Moses isn't exactly jumping for joy at this job offer. He immediately doubts himself. Compared to the giant looming shadow of Pharaoh, Moses feels incredibly small. He asks God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" He's basically saying, look, I'm just a quiet shepherd. The king of Egypt has huge armies and fast chariots. You've definitely got the wrong guy.
But God reassures our reluctant hero. He doesn't just hand Moses a sword and say, good luck. He gives him something infinitely better. He promises, I will surely be with you. And guys, that divine backing is the ultimate guarantee. God even promises that once Moses actually leads the people out of Egypt, they will all come right back and worship on this very same mountain.
Now, this is a very important chapter because God reveals his name. Moses asks a really profound question here. He says, look, when I appear before the people of Israel and they ask me, what is his name? What am I supposed to tell them? Because Moses needs authority, right? He needs to know exactly who is sending him, setting the stage for the ultimate secret of the universe to be handed down to a humble shepherd.
But before we get into the conclusion of this epic explainer, we absolutely must remember the incredible difference between ancient biblical Hebrew and modern Hebrew. The languages operate really differently, and translating ancient divine concepts requires a bit of detective work. This linguistic bridge is essential if we're going to grasp the sheer power of the answer God gives from those flames. When Moses asks God what name he should tell the people of Israel, God answers with a phrase that literally vibrates with eternal power. Ehyeh, Asher Ehyeh, which translates to I am what I am. The word Ehyeh means I am or I will be. And here's the mind-blowing part. It does not have a past, present, or future tense like we use in English. It means God simply is. He is the eternal, uncreated reality. He always was, he is right now, and he always will be. How cool is that? In addition to that, the Jewish Bible in Exodus chapter 3 tells us God said further, "Say this to the people of Israel, Yud He Vav He. This is my name forever, this is how I am to be remembered generation after generation." That sacred sequence resulted in the letters YHWH. Now, because of deep traditional reverence, many Jewish readers historically substituted this sacred name with Adonai, which means my Lord, whenever they were reading aloud. And that is exactly why when you read an English Bible today, it's so often translated in capital letters as Lord.
Okay, so now that Moses has the backing and the sacred name of God, what's the actual plan? Well, it's the epic freedom plan. God tells Moses to go gather the leaders of Israel, march straight up to the king of Egypt, and demand a 3-day journey into the desert. But God gives Moses a quick heads up. Pharaoh is going to be incredibly stubborn. He's going to say no. But don't worry, because God is ready to strike Egypt with mind-bending wonders.
God promises that after he unleashes his incredible divine powers, the whole dynamic of power is going to completely flip. The Egyptians will be in such awe and fear that they won't just let the Israelites go, they will practically pay them to leave. God says that the Israelite women will ask their neighbors for silver and gold jewelry and beautiful clothing. The Israelites are going to march out not as broken slaves, but completely victorious, plundering the Egyptians of their wealth without even fighting a single battle. It's literally the ultimate underdog victory story, and it's all set into motion by a single, unconsuming fire in the desert.
What an absolutely epic chapter of history, right? It proves that the most unlikely heroes can be called upon to change the entire world. So the next time you feel maybe a little too small for giant task, ask yourself, what burning bush might be waiting just around the corner for you? If you loved unpacking this amazing desert adventure with us today, be sure to click the bell button, like, share, and subscribe.